Pike County Fiscal Court is called to order. Madam Clerk, have a roll call of the members, please.
Judge Rutherford.
Present.
Magistrate Anderson.
Here.
Magistrate Johnson. Magistrate Murphy.
Here.
Magistrate Robinson.
Here.
Magistrate Dodson.
Here.
Magistrate Harris.
Here.
We have a quorum. We'll now have the Pledge of Allegiance by Magistrate Murphy, a veteran. I guess a lot of people are wondering why we have a court meeting since we had one just the other day. Purpose that we have to meet the Kentucky statute and have to pay the county's bills. So that's the reason we're back here today. Again, this is a slow time of the year, transitioning from one year to the next year. So we're getting through that. And hopefully, when we get to the February meetings, our agenda will be lengthened out, and the county's business can go forward. First thing we have on is to acknowledge the Pike County Jailer's Commissary Report. And I see Troy is here. Has that been submitted to the court? If not, you will submit it to the clerk.
Judge, while he's coming up, I'd like to say,
Do we have a copy? It's in the packet. Jeannie, we got to make sure that that's in the packet so that the court can have time to review it.
if I could, Judge, I'd like to say Rodney had surgery yesterday for his gallbladder and talked to him last night, and he's
Well, I hate to hear
real
that.
sore, and he said Troy was going to take care of him. He's going to take the day off.
Troy can adequately get the job done.
Thank you.
When you get that, please review it. We'll move on to the next thing on the agenda, and that's acknowledge of the receipt of the sheriff's settlement of 212, dated from April 18th to April 23rd, 2013. You have that in your packet. Do I have a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the sheriff's settlement? Have a motion by Magistrate Anderson, have a second Magistrate Johnson, have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Yes. Magistrate Robinson.
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Harris.
Yes.
Troy.
Yep.
Magistrate Harris and Judge Rutherford.
Yes. Next, we have on the agenda authorized payment for invoice 272-07 Hawkeye Contracting Company, LLC, Fish Trap Access Road. You have the information in your packet. If you pull it up on the screen so that you can look at it, the magistrates have not been up there for inspection. We will leave that up to our engineer, and Jonathan Newman is present, Hatch is present. But this is some work has been done. You will see this slide right here. That, I understand, is meeting the commitment that there would be a road all the way through the area. And I will report that I received 2 calls up there talking about a gate that has been installed and was closed. I explained to them, and I'll explain so that the public can understand what the gate is doing at where the location is. They will always be a gate up there. Corps of Engineers controls the water. As we all know, certain times of the year, not many days at all, but water is over the parking area, which is used to get out from this road to Pikeville and save 42 miles of driving around, only 12 miles. But Corps of Engineers has retained the right, it's their deal, that a gate be installed, and when the water's over the road, that they lock the gate and keep people out there, keep them getting drowned. So and I explained that, the 2 calls I got, Leo, that those gates will always be there. Now, why is the gates locked now? Simply the answer is the contractor has equipment down there. I know that I was told that their equipment is gone. Their equipment is not gone. They're still there working. So they have equipment. The only one that these people seen is one went by their house, the equipment. They have equipment. What we're attempting to do today is we have money in a contingency fund, and we're attempting to go ahead on this project and spend all of that money, simply because this is phase one. We go into phase two. Phase two will bring this road down. It comes down 45 feet in elevation, and that is phase two. Under what the engineers had recommended, they will start taking some of the mountain off of the 45 feet, as long as the money lies. Then we'll have to depend on our commitment we have that the next budget in Frankfurt will contain funds for phase two to complete this project and bring this road up to standards that is expected once this project is completed. Jonathan Newman is here. He will answer a question. Naturally, when you have change orders, you'll have a change order for the engineer cost. And the question that I have and have asked a question, have been told, money is in the budget. This is a budget. This is a completion. This gives an extension till Mr. Newman, is it the last day of March?
This extension goes through March 7th.
Okay, goes into March.
Yes.
On this extension, which means that they, in essence, would be complete on phase one at that time, on money that is available.
Yes, substantial completion.
Okay, Mr. Newman, do you think I've explained it adequately so that the court can understand the purpose of you all and these pictures on the screen?
Yeah, I think that
Have
adequately
anything
explains
to
it.
add to that help us make a decision today of whether to go ahead and approve the change orders and approve the engineering cost?
I don't, but I can answer any questions that the court may have.
Are there any questions?
Judge, I've got one. You know, I thought I heard you right. You said there'd always be a gate there. And, you know, we've always in the past, any road we've had, Frank, is with a gate is being considered to be private property. And, you know, as a county road, we're not allowed to have gates on our county roads. And, you know, is this going to be a problem for the people getting in and out, or how's this gate going to operate?
Let me try to explain again. In my meetings in Huntington, West Virginia, with the colonel and the corps, they are not going to give up the right to block people out when water is over the road. That will be retained by the United States Corps of Engineers, and they will lock the gate, keep people from getting down and getting drowned. So this will be a county road, has been and will be turned over to the county, and we will do maintenance on this road, but they will retain the right to close off for safety and keeping people from getting drowned when the water comes up, usually one time a year, am I right? About one time a year, for safety reasons.
What is it, backwaters when they back the lake up in the spring?
When they have to back it up, you know, to hold water when you get a whole lot of rain and stuff.
And then after that, then it's down to the normal, when the gate will be open.
Will the water be up over the road every year?
About usually one time a year.
It will be over the road once
Yes,
a year?
it goes over, the access road goes to the back of the parking area. That's how you get access to go up the hill and come down and hit the road. It brings the people out so they can get groceries, medical service, and go to school. And save them 12 miles, save them 42 miles if they had to go around either way.
How long, Leo, you may know this, how long generally will the road be closed during the year? How long does the lake stay at the high pool?
Well, it shouldn't even, the high pool shouldn't even be over the road. This would be probably an emergencies and a whole lot of rain, you know, keep places from flooding.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only time it gets up over is when it gets in that parking lot on the blacktop. Correct. And when you go back down, see, they got a gate on the other side of the hill, and it's go that way.
And is that normal does that happen every year, or just when just when there's just an extraordinary amount of rain? But it will happen every year, I guess is the question. Some years it does. Okay, that's what.
Magistrate Robinson stated that they are gates at the top of the hill, that they also block off so people can't come over the hill and go where the water is over the road in the parking area. Yeah. Any other questions? If no questions, we'll ask for a motion to approve the change order. Motion, Magistrate Murphy, second by Magistrate Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson,
Okay, is there anything the engineer, anything you want to say or add to?
I don't have anything extra.
Okay, yes.
We made it easy for Jonathan this morning, I hope.
Magistrate Johnson? Yes. Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson?
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Let's go back to acknowledgement of receipt of the jail commissary report. We have a motion. Motion, Magistrate Murphy. Have a second. Magistrate Johnson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson?
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Mr. County Attorney, we passed at the last meeting on a question that, and a good question that Magistrate Harris raised on the comfort and process solutions of the equipment at the new judicial building. Did you find out if they complied with the Kentucky procurement code?
It's my understanding that if the state procured them, that they would be the ones responsible for following that law. I didn't bring all my research on it, but that's my understanding. Is that what you kind of thought, or?
Yeah, but I didn't understand whether or not the state procured them or not. So this is something that the state is recommending that we do?
I believe the state
Correct.
uses
The
this
state
company.
recommends-
They're gonna
the ones-
reimburse us
They've
for it
contracted
as
this
well.
company, my
Okay.
understanding.
Okay, I'll make the motion, we approve.
Motion, Magistrate Harris. Have a second. Have a second. Magistrate Johnson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson?
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
To Mr. Newman and to Mr. Hatcher, I forgot to get a motion to pay Hawkeye Contracting. What was that, Mr. Newman, the amount that was owed them in the last construction period?
This is for work done in December. The amount is $134,850.22.
Any questions? If not, have a motion. Have a motion, Magistrate Robinson. Have a second, Magistrate Murphy. Have a roll
Let
call
me-
vote.
Let me make a statement, Judge.
Right ahead.
On this road, we really need to stay on our legislatures and try to get another meeting with their Secretary of Transportation, so we try to get this Phase 2 started in as soon as possible.
I talked to Kevin Dameron while I was in Lexington at the meeting we was at, and asked him, and he hadn't called yet, to look at the paperwork in the Transportation Cabinet's Frankfurt office and see if that is listed, to make sure that as Master Murphy just stated, that we are attempting to move this project forward and to make sure we got funding for phase 2. We had a commitment from the meeting held in the Secretariat's conference room of $433,000. And they could not keep that commitment due to funding problems. So there have been a commitment by the legislator that this would be in the state budget, not coming from coal severance tax. So we are certainly, and that's a good thing to raise, we're certainly going to continue to try to find out and make sure that during this legislative session that they're in presently, that money comes out of that to complete phase 2. You have a,
Roll call.
you got a motion, second?
Yes, sir.
Roll call vote. Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson? Magistrate Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Awarding of bids, no bids. Magistrate Road Work, Magistrate Anderson. Motion, second. Have a second. Magistrate Johnson, have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Magistrate comments.
Judge,
Magistrate
I
Anderson.
don't have any comments this time.
Magistrate Johnson. Magistrate Murphy.
No, just hoping this storm don't hit as bad as they're giving.
Magistrate Johnson.
Judge, I've got one or two. Frank, I was talking to a guy that worked with Big Sandy, and he said he'd been trying to get up with you, or he might have already done it on that, doing a study on Route 194 and 632. And I don't know what he's wanting from us, but I told him we were available for anything he needed. So you might want to let the court know what we're doing on that.
Well, he contacted me and wanting to know information on their study of what it involves, like the people at the cookie factory. And I talked to him and gave him the names that he needed to talk to different people from the coal company, cookie factory mainly, of traffic flow and people that are disability, you know. So yes, I've talked to him.
He talked like, Frank, there was some monies they was wanting to get started spending pretty quick, and I don't know if it's for widening, some of the old projects that we'd had ongoing. You know, they had 2 or 3 curves to be taken out around the cookie factory and places down through there. Did he say whether or not it was for them, or was this for a new study on the completion of that road? He didn't say.
We didn't get into the detail of what they were. It was mostly just public interference of traffic flow. When they did start the construction, it's one of their steps they have to go through.
Thank you, Frank. And Judge, we've had a tremendous problem with horses in the area over in Phelps and Majestic and Stopover. I know you've got tremendous amount of calls, you and John Doug, and I appreciate you sending Bobby and Jason over Friday, and they got a pretty good look at what's going on. I mean, the people's yards are destroyed. Somebody gonna get killed with automobile accident, hitting one of the horses. There's been several already hit with automobiles, and Bobby said he had some recommendations that he would like to address the court with him, and if you don't care, I'd like for him to let the people know what our plans are to trying to secure some of the horses and get them out of their yards over there.
Let me give a little bit of background. Congress passed an act about 4 years ago to stop exporting horse meat. I think everybody's aware that the United States does not consume for horse meat, but most countries of the world do. So they stopped that. They also stopped what we knew as the glue factories. Now they have backtracked, and Congress has now given permission to export. The 2 plants have been opened. The one in New Mexico is built, but it's in court, it's in federal court, and going through the court process. So what's happened not only here, but throughout the United States, and the fact that hay went up in price, that livestock was turned loose everywhere. I know I saw the picture in the Paintsville paper once, where at the stockyards in Paintsville on horses sitting outside the stockyard, sign on the back says, "Take me home with you." But the owner said, "I can't afford anymore to feed them." So they turned them loose all over this country. Judge Hayes he can address this in a minute, but we along with Hillman, seem like the Peter Creek area is the worst, if I'm correct. I know the calls that I have taken has been in that section of Pike County. Judge Hayes.
Judge, you're correct, and this is not a recent problem. As Master Dotson knows, we've worked on this and worked on it. And I want the people over there who are being bothered and damaged by these horses and subjected to unsafe condition by these horses being on the highway to know that we've tried everything in the world. Our animal control officer, Jason Burke, has gone over there with a local veterinarian and a gun to tranquilize these horses in an effort to catch them. These are horses that come off strip jobs, and we can't catch them. We've even hired a wrangler in times past, Judge. That didn't work. The tranquilizer gun doesn't work. When I got a call from a lady who lived over at Stopover who had talked to Master Dotson, I immediately contacted Jason Burke, our Pike County Animal Control Officer, and told him that the problem again had arisen over, this time at Stopover. Now, in years past, most of them, Master Dotson, I believe, have been around over in the Beach Creek area, and they're still getting tremendous damage over there by what, Bobby, 15 horses or more that are coming off these strip jobs. They come off, Judge, in the winter in particular, when the food gets scarce on these strip jobs. More importantly, they come off to the highways to lick the salt that's put on these roads. But Bobby Mullins, our solid waste commissioner, has some considerable experience, as this court knows, with dealing with large animals, cattle and horses. So I asked Commissioner Mullins if he would accompany Jason Burke to respond to the complaint that had been made to Master Dotson and to our office to go over on Friday. We did that immediately, Judge, and so Commissioner Mullins, Bobby Mullins, Jason Burke, and Magistrate Dotson, they got with him, and they went around and investigated what was going on. I just want the people over there to know, before Bobby speaks, that we are committed to addressing this problem no matter what it may take. We simply can't have that. Master Dotson is correct. Someone is going to get killed over there as a result of a horse. But Judge, what I really wanted to say is these horses are owned by someone. I realize that times are tough. People let animals go. They're roaming loose. They can't afford to feed them. But I believe that many of these horses would be claimed by someone if we get a hold of them. We are going to get a hold of them. And the owner then, when they attempt to claim, they're going to pay Pike County and this court the cost that we've incurred in having to go over there and to capture these animals. We're going to get them, and I want to put the owners on notice that we do not have open range here in Kentucky and here in Pike County and on Peter Creek. If you own a horse, it's your responsibility to take care of that animal, to give it proper feed, to give it proper care. Otherwise, we're going to take care of that horse and get it to a home that will. Now, I really, as a person who's been receiving these calls a great deal, Judge, frankly, I'm fed up with people, irresponsible owners of horses. We support the horse business, the horse industry, horse riders in this county. We've got so many horse owners that are responsible, but a few are causing our people over in Magistrate Dotson's district considerable hardship. It's terrible. Bobby Mullins.
When we went over the other day, we went back to the strip job and looked and was sort of check and see where we could set up a corral. The strip job's out of question because it's so big and wide open there. The horses would they would get away from you. But the nutrients in the grass on top of the hill this time of the year is depleted, and they're coming down to the bottom. These horses are hungry. They're just roaming from lawn to lawn, and they're picking this green grass that's in the, on those lawns. If you get after the horses where they're at, they're gonna run out in traffic, and they're going to get somebody killed or get killed themselves. So my recommendation is there's a couple of plots of land up there that is partially fenced. These horses is roaming in those areas too. I would say to try to either lease the land or get permission. Horses come to you and fence that off, place feed in there, and when they go in there, just shut the gate. Then on that gate, put a lock, put a sign that if anybody owns those horses, they need to contact Pike County Fiscal Court. And that way, it's safer for everyone if you let them come in there to graze on their own and they find feed there and just shut the gate. That's what I would do.
Mr. County Attorney, your office has been very gracious in advising us and helping us with this situation. Do you have a statement?
The only time I've ever fed a horse is through the window down there at Keeneland. That's the only time I've ever, that's my dealings with horses. But yeah, that sounds like a great idea that Bobby's got. That sounds good to us. I don't see any legal impediments to doing that.
Magistrate Dodson.
Judge, I agree with Bob, and what we need, after we catch them, we're gonna have a place to take them. And, you know, we discussed that, and I was able to get a number on a guy that's got a place where Bob's wanting to set the corrals up. But I would like, if you could, to encourage anybody in the county that has property that they would like to have some of these horses. You know, as of right now, I think Jason told me and Bobby they didn't have a place to take them once they catch them. Is that right, Bob?
Yes, that's right. We don't have any place to take them. But another thing the court needs to realize that these horses is not just like normal horses. They've some of them, no one has ever had a halter on them, and they've all been shot at, rocks thrown at them, and they're wild. And I bought a sack of feed when I went over there. I was just going to see how gentle they were. Just as soon as you start to open the door, they're gone. I mean, it ain't like your normal horses that's broken. Anybody trying to catch these could get hurt with them. So, need to realize
Magistrate
that.
Dodson.
The judge will continue doing what we can on that end, and I know Bob and John's going to take every precaution they can to try to get this taken care of and in a safe way. But this week, somebody brought me a newspaper, and it was dated on there. It was candidates needed, and you know I got to reading that, and it's wanting somebody to run against the magistrates. That we ain't done anything but waste the cold severance money and the taxpayers' money on pleasure recreation buildings, and you know. I've been to all these buildings that we've been able to build, and I see the senior citizens and the children enjoying them so much, playing so much in the evenings and talking about our swimming pools. And, you know, what would Pike County be if we wasn't a recreational area to offer the same thing to our people that everybody else does? And talking about building these cabins up in these hollers where nobody can use them. And, you know, this guy needs to get out and visit some of these places. I understand he used to go to the Senior Citizen Center, Carl, and visit. But his name was Charles Monk Sanders, and he lives in Peter Creek. And he really don't have much, sounds like, in the newspaper that he has to offer for our seniors and our children. You know, he thinks they need to probably just do away with them and give him the money to run his business with over there. But, you know, I just thought that needed to be brought to attention to this court, how I feel about it. I think we've all worked hard for our districts and try to build them up and have places for people to go. And Chick, I know you stay on on the call up all the time on your bill, and you tell me about how many people you have coming and going, and how much you clean it, and Leo and Kenneth. You know, everybody's got these buildings, and I think it's what our people want. And, you know, you being the judge, you've got a lot of this accomplished, and that's all I have.
We've done a lot.
Let me say something on the buildings too. If they want to come check out one out-mouth card, it's booked for at least 4 months, and some people got it booked already for December of next year.
I'm gonna try and take care of my senior citizens where Monk likes it where he don't.
Mayor Hart.
Thank you, Judge. I'll just echo what the other magistrates have said about that situation. You know, it's for somebody who has been running an operation up there with questionable spending at best, and that's being kind based on the information that we were able to obtain through open records requests. The spending that he's had with money that he's gotten directly from the state, from coal severance money, is questionable at best. But I too think that those monies that have been spent have been well spent, and that they're of use to the public, and the public gets a great deal of enjoyment out of them. I want to talk also about one. I just talked to Paul before the meeting, and it looks like our expansion of the driver's license office at the Belfry Courthouse is moving along. You went and checked out the room there. You think it's sufficient enough space to house the new driver's license facility at the Belfry Courthouse?
Yeah, we can come up with a 8x12 room, and like I said, Anna Pinson is supposed to come up with some glass, and we're just waiting on her. She can come up with it, save us some money on that right there, but I believe we can work something out right there.
Okay, that'll be great. I think they've been in the closet for a long time there at the Belfry Courthouse, and it'll be much more convenient for the public to be able to come into the lobby area, and there's seating there, and it's not as crowded as it is back. And then, of course, that will open up some additional space for the senior citizens as well. So appreciate you checking that out for us, Paul. The other thing, Judge, I wanted to ask is for Mr. Tackett. I wasn't able to make it to the Hatfield meeting this past Thursday, and I wondered if you had made it and what the status of the Hatfield Fire Department is.
Yes, I made it over there, and they have elected their officers for the board, the president, the vice president, the secretary and treasurer. And my understanding is they had another meeting Saturday, and they appointed an interim fire chief.
Great.
So it's moving right along.
That's great. Great news. And we just thank the people that over there that have been willing to get involved. I know it's always a difficult time when there's change coming. But it's nice that those people have stood up over there and taken the initiative to make their fire department something special. So,
Mr. Harris, Jeannie and I had a conversation this morning in regard to the first issue you talked about as a place for the circuit court clerk. And she's going to get Mr. Mitchell on the phone, and I asked that the county attorney provide us with a copy of the statute where Pike County legislature gave Pike County the right to have satellite or branch courthouses, one at Phelps, one at Belfry. We had to get legislation passed because to do that, and to see if AOC will begin paying us for that footage. And pay it for and that way the construction would be paid for.
Right. Yeah. Well, that'd be fine. I mean, that's great. But it'll be a real that office is really used a lot there. And they're every Tuesday and one Saturday a month, and it's a constant flow of people coming and going, getting their license renewed. So that'll be a great service to the people.
They've been using too.
They pay private citizens. I mean, they pay. Spit it out. They pay for private places in other counties, so I can't imagine that they wouldn't pay for local governments to supply spaces as well.
Their own facility.
That's all I have, Judge.
Dan, if you pull up, we'll go ahead and get out of the way before we do the other. I asked Jeannie this morning on the NRCS projects, and 24 houses have been approved, and 13 have been purchased, and 5 have been demolished. And this is some that's got in the last few days. So that is Smith Bottom Loop on Big Creek, and of course that was taken to the landfill, and the concrete and so forth was used and put in the road at the landfill. Now, the next we have on here, the independent living apartments. And this fiscal court partnered again on another project with Mountain Comprehensive Care for independent living apartments located on county property adjacent to Shelby Valley High School and elementary school. And this is used, I think you have another picture which sets out on it, for persons with developmental and intellectual disabilities. And it's 8 apartments, and this is where LPN or RN lives in the facility and makes sure that the people that's there takes their medicine. So this is something that is needed and something that we have been, that this court has been partnered with Mountain Comprehensive Care. We appreciate their interest. They will operate this facility, and it will be a facility. Magistrate Johnson always attends up there on behalf of this court of any openings that they have, and we try to get involved with them also. So that is something else. The Emergency Operations Center open house is scheduled. The picture you see is, or if you go back to that, Dan, that is when we had the snow emergency, and we brought everybody together of all the agencies in the county that would be part of the response to a situation that we need to help people. So if you go to the next one, you'll see that on Wednesday, January 29th, the Pike County Fiscal Court will have an open house on the 4th floor of the courthouse annex. And all of us know what Doug Tackett and his staff have had to operate out of in past years. As my grandfather would say, you couldn't whip a cat in the room. But now we have adequate room, we have it. And that date, if you go back again, Dan, we'll get the date one more time, January 29th at 1:30, 4th floor of the courthouse annex. Next, we have on here the Tri-State Steam Excursion. The date has been set, April 12th, 13th, 2014. And this will be a great addition to our tourism program, our tourism board, and Mr. Tackett and his staff is involved. We have a committee together. We've had the first meeting, and it was a great meeting. We had people from Mingo County and from Buchanan County in Virginia, and this is the actual steam engine that will pull. Now, as I've stated before, we've had the trip on the New River train from Huntington to Hinton. It has no steam engine, it's all diesel. This steam engine, the 630, will be used for this excursion and probably for the second one. But the next one will probably be a larger engine that is being rebuilt by Norfolk Southern. These tickets are $35 and $45. Folks, Pat and I paid $450 for seats on that. This is a bargain. They told me this morning that this news release that came from our media office was in all the newspapers around the country. It was in the Washington Post over the weekend. So these train excursions are something that people travel for miles to get. And folks, we're glad because we have 2,000 tickets to sell. Charles Carlson, I want to commend you on your presentation to this committee and all the work that you've done to bring all of these people together. And if you'll go back again, Dan, to the people at the committee meeting in our conference room that took part in this meeting. And we feel that all these tickets can be sold. They will go on sale this Friday. I think you have the date, Friday, January the 24th. And if you'll see www.21stcenturysteam.com or call 423-894-8028. Mr. Carlton, have I told the story, or you had anything that you would want to add to that, please? Okay, so the Tri-State Steam Excursion, which starts at Grundy, goes into Mingo County and back, and there'll be four trips, and those tickets will go on sale, and I'll order mine immediately. What a bargain.
Judge, I want to also echo that and just say that anybody with kids who, this past summer, my wife and I took our kids up to Baltimore on Amtrak, and it was just a fantastic trip, and the kids loved it, and, got to ride the train, and this will even be with a steam engine, be even more exciting with kids who love trains. All kids love trains. This is something that family can do as well. So I just encourage everybody to consider buying a ticket on that excursion, because it's going to be a fun time.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Mountain Water District. As you all are aware, I meet every month with Mountain Water to get an update from the general manager and from the superintendent, Mr. Grumble Potter. And I'm going to run through this because a lot of these are things that the magistrate and myself have asked for information on. And I'll start with the Deskins Curve Department of Transportation relocation project. The line portion is complete. Plans and specifications for the tank portion are complete. We're waiting on new plans from the Department of Transportation. Cabin No, Department of Transportation relocation project at Scott Fork. The engineer, Tom Campoy, is working with DOT on the contracts. They're in final designs and hope to get approval soon. Water treatment plant. This would be at Marbone. Sand pumps and chemical pumps and replacement ties with computer system is partially complete, and this project is ongoing and will be completed soon. Bad Fork, Dam and Ratliff Road. Tom Wright Construction got the contract. The main line has been installed on Bad Fork and Dam and Ratliff Road. Biological sampling has been done, and this is a requirement prior to installation of the meters. Ridgeline Road project, Groningen. This is one Magistrate Murphy and I have been certainly interested in. H2O Construction got that project substantially complete, in service with meters being installed presently. Most of the meters are in. Engineers have received Department of Water approval in order to extend service to two properties. Those are the ones that Magistrate Murphy and I specifically asked them to see if they could get water to these, because one of the ladies was handicapped. So, and I think that was a Sloan lady. So the original scope of this project, and it's under construction.
That's finishing up phase 2. We got to work on phase 3 yet, to get that completed.
Is the contractor
at the airport supposed to fix that road back on the area? Yes, indeed. Okay, Mr. Hatcher, would you make a telephone call to the contractor? Yeah, that contractor is Tom Wright Construction. The next is the Norman Cook Road and the Old Shelbyana Road. The Norman Cook Road and pressure testing and sampling has been done. Meters are beginning to be installed. And the Old Shelbyana Road on December 16th is nearing completion as well. Summit Engineering had been chosen to provide engineering service for a project in Magistrate Johnson District. Selecting the project areas with Magistrate Johnson, and it's in preliminary design. Next is a project is almost complete on the lift station, and that was a Department of Transportation on Route 199 relocation project. Installation is ongoing. The Huddy McVeigh DOT line relocation project is complete and in service. Anderson Branch extension line. This was funded by CAM Mining under an agreement. U.S. Reynolds is the contractor for the project. The booster pumping station arrived in December and has been installed. Pressure testing and sampling is ongoing. Millard Curve, Department of Transportation relocation project. This project is out for bidding, ready for bidding with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. It is anticipated it will be bid in early spring 2014. Shop Branch DOT relocation project. Contractor H2O Construction. The project has been adopted by the Mountain Water District, by the Board of Commissioners in the October meeting. A successful walkthrough on the completion. There was a short punch list. H2O, done as a punch list, it's completed, the project will be completed. Douglas Water, the sewage plant update. Funding has been received. We gave our CDBG to Mountain Water this year, the Pike County government did, and they submitted a application with a package to CDBG, ARC application also, and it is under review at this time. Phelps Freeburn, upgrades and rehabilitation. Project was bid, all bids came in too high. Water District personnel is in negotiations and hope to negotiate and bring this back into budget. We hope that construction begin as soon as the weather opens up in 2014. Belfry Pond Creek Sewer Project at present time is on hold. Majestic Alternative Sewer Project. Site surveys complete. Data input mapping data is in progress. Ownership of record verification in progress. Identification of cluster appropriate for treatment is being analyzed. Adjacent coal property owners have been consulted and are being consulted for partnership in land area and treatment zones. Henry Clay Sewer Project on hold in Frankfurt. Forest Hills Odor Control Project. Negotiation with contract been very successful. And the engineer anticipates moving forward with construction as soon as the weather opens up. If you have any questions at any time in regard to Mountain Water District, get them to my office and I'll put it on Jeannie puts it on the agenda and we will raise a question on behalf of this body.
Judge, did you get it on there about maybe the one call deal on water contamination when they're having water breaks and things?
Jeannie put that on the agenda and we'll
Next
discuss
conversation.
that at our meeting. Only thing we got this on here for is, did you have something you wanted to say, Judge Hayes?
No, I was getting ready for treasurer's business.
One other thing we got, just wanted to say that coal production was just up a hair this last quarter. Hopefully it's bottomed out. Now we know that we still got the closing of the Big Sandy Plate that will face us in the future. But the reason I've got this on here, this is to our county employees to know that this county, we're in budget. And we don't have to have any cutoffs. And that we are beginning to gather information to get ready to put a new budget together. And it's not going to be easy. But we'll be doing that and complying with the state statutes. I gave Jenny a memo over the weekend and said, get our list together of dates that we have to comply with, and we'll comply with them. But this is just to inform the public and to inform personally our county employees that they're not facing any cutoffs, that we're in budget. We've been very conservative, Madam Finance Director and our Treasurer, that we've been, and I want to say this to you directors and commissioners. You all have done your job. I know it's been tough of trying to provide the services that you provide. Hatch with 800 miles of road. Bobby Mullins with 24,000 homes and businesses to to pick up the garbage. And all of you, you've done your job to keep us in budget, and we certainly appreciate that. Work sessions will be on Pike TV, and I guess you noticed today we had somebody manning all the cameras. Mr. Hilton, to you, Mr. Greenfield and Pike TV. Governor Patton, the chairman of Pike TV board, informed us at the last meeting, and Mr. Greenfield, that now the college students are kicking in to become part of Pike TV. They was waiting till the students got some experience and was in the second or third year. So now we're able to use those students and to get better coverage for our meetings and everything that Pike TV does. And that was the plan when we took the Pikeville College in back years ago. As part of this, they have a communication degree up there now.
Judge, we might convince them to get in politics maybe while they're here.
Let's don't ruin it.
So that's, we want to thank Mr. Greenfield and the board and Mr. Hilton and all the staff and welcome these students because I know that when we started this, we made a trip and met with Wayne Martin, who was president at the time of Gray Communication, and he said, what you're doing is God sent. He said, we can't find anybody in the area to hire to help run our television stations, and we own the one at Huntington, West Virginia, we own the one at Lexington, we own the one at Hazard. So next, I see one thing I missed, and I see on here that the Great Eastern Trail, and Charles Carlton, I want to again thank you for the presentation you gave to the board of the Great Eastern Trail that met here this last year in our conference room. And when you laid those maps out in the county of what we had to do and the different property owners we had to deal with, and that board told us that you were further along than any other states that we know about today. Now, other states are working. But what we had this on here for, this is the Pike Energy Trail. The Pike Energy Trail Corporation, last week, Mr. Ramey, Bill Ramey, informed us that they got their 501c3. Now that is the group and the group of volunteers that's going to build this trail. Now to build the trail, primarily it's going to be to mark the trail, if I'm correct, because the trails be already 99% in place. But we was great. Paul Hopkins, I want to tell Mr. Hopkins again that we appreciate his interest. And Paul is the one that went to the Richmond, Virginia meeting and suggested they had the next year meeting in the breaks. It was not coming through Kentucky or Pike County, and they moved that trail so that it would come through from West Virginia, come on through Pike County, and tie into the state park trail that goes to the state line at Middlesboro, and that is the Linear State Park at Elkhorn City. So this is good news for us. They got their one. Matter of fact, I sent them a check because they are now taken under the 501c3. They're now and they're tax exempt, so that they could go ahead and get help. The Heating Assistance Program, and folks, listen to this, and this number, 432-2775. We've had sub-zero weather. People, as Judge Hayes in his prayer alluded to, we have people that's in trouble. We had sub-zero weather. Their power bills go up. This program was put in by Congress, signed by the President, and comes through the Big Sandy Community Action Program, which Carl Napier is on the board and represents this court on that board. And that office is over on the county court, in the county courthouse annex on Ferguson Creek. And folks, it's still open. You'll have to call and get their schedule or read the paper, but it is help that you can receive to help pay utility bill and keep your heat on. With Pike County Cooperative Extension Services, they asked that we post them, and we have posted them. But the second one, Dan, that we have, and that is this coming up, I think on the second one that if you'll bring it up, You don't have it on there, but they have, don't remember the date, but you have the in-house project thing that they have every year where they bring all the students in. So next we have Pride, and Jimmy Dale Sanders is here, Bobby Mullins, the Pike County Pride through our solid waste department. And we're gonna have a cleanup this fall, and we will begin advertising our cleanup, paint up, clean up, fix up. Now, I want to allude to something that Bobby Mullins and I talked about, and Jimmy Dell and I talked about, and that's the fact that people is opening up garbage dumps. We run onto one at the top of the mountain over on Caney Creek, and I run onto one up the head of Beaver, and others. Folks, we have got to stop this. Master Harris alluded to it. Quit throwing stuff out your car windows. If you get caught, you're going to pay a fine. And stop hauling this stuff to the top of the mountains. And it was unbelievable what they went up to Millard, and I thought they would have pictures on here for that, before and after, to show you what they found at Millard and to show you what it looked like after they cleaned it up the other day. This was after we had sub-zero weather, then the temperature went up, and then we have the canoers that rode out from the fish trap down to the mouth to get out and run into a garbage dump under the old bridge up there where the low water bridge used to be. So Manager Robinson, the crew went up and cleaned it up, and I hope put signs up, and this is something people just got to stop doing. Take pride in your county.
I wish they'd quit
Jimmy Dale Sanders and that board and pre-staff from all over this county for years. Take pride in your county and keep it clean.
I wish they'd quit hauling it up there at my park up on Greasy and dumping it out. The garbage truck runs up Greasy on Tuesday, goes to everybody's house. On Wednesday morning, them bins is run over down there. Dogs in them, bears in them. And I don't know why they don't put it on the garbage truck instead of bringing it down to park and throwing it
That's
out.
what Robinson said. They pick up your garbage at your house and you get it's mandatory.
I'm gonna have to take them garbage bins out.
Yeah, because we don't want to have to do that. But if that community, if it's continued there, it'll have to be done. So,
Kenneth, we had that problem at the Belfry Courthouse, just the same problem you were just talking about. We had to build a fence around the bin just to open it and close it because we were having people from other states and other, people just coming in. It was just piling up and just overrunning us with garbage.
I was gonna put a fence around that, but I better throw it over top of it, take a big dump truck, or I'll put a whole Greasy Creek.
and that's uncalled for. It's mandatory. They're paying a bill anyway.
It's
I mean,
worked
it's
at the.
It's no-brainer. Doug, I think
It's
you
worked
need to
at the
give us
courthouse.
a update on the weather today. Penny just sent this text in here and said that our phone's ring after ring, that weather has completely changed out in the county.
Just,
And see if you can give us an update.
Just a few minutes ago, Jackson Weather Office put us under a winter storm warning for heavy snow, 3 to 5 inches through 7 o'clock tonight.
Hey Doug, I just looked outside. I think their forecast is pretty accurate.
Yeah, I'd say it is.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and finish this meeting because I'm sure the magistrates want to get back and the hatch so that the road foreman can get ready and get prepared. Act Theater, you've seen that. That's on there every time. And we know Scholar House has taken applications, and please call 218-5967. Get the regulation, get signed up, get a college degree. Judge Hayes.
Treasurer's business, Judge. Authorize any necessary transfers and interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health, and life insurance.
Have a motion, Magistrate Roberts, second Magistrate Murphy. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Dodson. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Authorize payment of expenditure approval list dated January 17, 2014, and any other utility and telephone bills received before checks are run.
Have a motion. Motion, Magistrate Roberts, second Magistrate Anderson. A roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson? Is still absent. Mr. Harris?
Abstain.
And Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Authorize the following checks in the amounts of, as I will give them, Walker appraisals passed through NRCS money when received for technical review of the Neil Anders property of $1,200. Technical review, Juanita and Jean David Meeks, $1,200 for a total of $2,400. Next, a check to Frank K. Nall, passed through NRCS money when received, closing for Debbie Simmons property, $1,800. Next, a Mullins Enterprise Company, Inc. check passed through NRCS money when received, demolition for Debbie Simmons property, $16,490. And finally, Judge, a check to Peoples Natural Gas of Kentucky in the sum of $224. This is to establish service for the road lot at Marrowbone. It's for deposit and installation charge.
Any questions? No question. Have a motion. Have a motion, Mr. Murphy, second by Mr. Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Judge, that concludes the treasurer's business. The next item on the agenda is executive session. If I may, I'll do that right now. We do not need an executive session unless one of the magistrates so desires. We only have one matter, and if I may proceed.
You may proceed.
Acknowledge the resignation of Johnny Wharf effective January 17, 2014. Mr. Wharf was a temporary employee at the landfill, and he's returned to the job he had previously from which he had been laid off. So that's good news, going back to work to his previous job. But we just need to acknowledge that, and that's all the personnel matters that we have, Judge.
That's my recommendation and my motion. Have a second. Have a second, Mr. Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Does any magistrate have a statement to make? And if not, it's the time for our commissioners and directors. If you got any questions of us, we just held a staff meeting recently. I think it was a good staff meeting. And I think that we got a lot done and a lot established. And again, we appreciate you all and all the county employees for the work that you do. And if not, have a motion to adjourn. Mr. County Attorney, I forgot to call on you for any statement.
Just glad to be here, Judge. Thanks.
Have a motion by Magistrate Robinson. We have a second by Magistrate Anderson, and have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.